Fast dry. Windows, doors, molding, trim. Paint in 20 minutes. Paint in 20 minutes. Let me show you where it's going. Right in there. That's between the ceiling and the trim. Between the ceiling and the trim. By the time I finish around the top, it'll be ready to go to paint the ceiling, but also it's going on the floor in the crack right there. This isn't a caulk class or how to caulk. I'm gonna get up there, have a glove on, have two rubber gloves on, and a towel, a wet towel right here so I can wipe them. Caulk as best I can do. Put my finger, no special tool, no special trick. Caulk, finger, let it dry, paint. Okay, if you're gonna do a good job trimming, you might as well invest the money in the Purdy system. P-U-R-D-Y, the Purdy system. It's a pail right here. It got a skimmer, so you can roll your brush right here with a hook, and then it got a magnet for your clear cut paintbrush. You might as well invest in this. This is the easiest thing ever. You hold it with your one hand. It got the hand grip right here, or you can hold it from the pail. More than likely I'm gonna hold it from the hand grip right here when I'm painting. I normally have my little cup, but now that I invested in something better, my cup looks terrible. We already had some trim in here, and I washed it completely out. Okay, so with this Purdy cut, we're gonna do the trim. We're gonna cut the line. This is a stiff bristle Purdy brush. We're gonna cut the line up there. I'm gonna get you up there to see it, and then we're gonna roll a distance out so then we could use the big roller. So you might as well, this is a Purdy roller with the Purdy trim brush and a Purdy paintbrush. A trick is what I learned is dip this all in water really fast and then wring it out and then start painting with it, because the water actually adheres to the bristles first, where it makes it easier to clean. There's a level in the Purdy bucket right there that you fill up to, and you're able to unhook it and roll your roller right here in the bucket. Hook it, or dip your paintbrush and hook it. Well worth the system. Okay, this is day 2 in the books. Just waiting on a friend. Okay, so I trimmed the top. Not all of it, because the other trim is going to be ultra white. That little one's going to be ultra white, but I got the trim all the way around. My better half started putting the color down over here. Oh, and I colored around the light already. We're going to switch that light out too. So I should be able to, I'm working from the top down, so the next thing is going to be the ceiling, then the white trim at the top, then cut in for the paint, and then trim, cut in the paint with the Purdy brush to get all the way around. I'm not going to tape that. I am going to tape the floor though, and around the doors. We're painting the door, floors, and windows. But 2 days, day 2 so far. Day 4, home stretch, and size does matter. I bought the mega paint rollers. I said I was going to be done by Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So starting off by trimming the top with the trim now that's ultra white, and since I'm going to have the cutting brush to cut in the ultra white, I'm going to cut in the top of the bottom around first, just the top of the bottom, and I got a special edger tool that we're going to try to see if it works on the bottom. Alright, right now I got to cut in the edge that's going to be ultra white on that trim, but since this is painted, the bottom part don't have to be cut in perfectly because I'm going to trim with paint above that. So you want a little bit like an 1/8 of an inch overlap, a 1/4 inch overlap this way, but you got to be careful because the ceiling is done. So we got to cut in, and you know, I swear by this Purdy paint system. It is just amazing. The brushes hold a lot of paint. So you're gonna and you know what I say, it's like a racetrack. 2 coats of everything. So I'm gonna do a racetrack around the room right now twice. Okay, just finished the first lap around the track. Everything ultra white has been ultra white. Now the second lap around the track isn't gonna take as long. This you're trying to fill in as much as you can. You see, I did white right here. Let me see over here. The white spills over onto the paint, so when you line the paint, you're not gonna see the bottom color through the paint. So now everything in here is gonna be thrown out and cleaned. The paint's gonna be thrown out, everything's gonna be cleaned, and it's a whole new one. Then after around the track one more time, then we go ahead and start doing the ceiling. All right, here we go. Second time around the racetrack, ultra white, all the trim and everything. Top racetrack done, and all top parts of the doors, windows, everything done. This Purdy system is pretty dang awesome. Now I gotta do the bottom part of the racetrack, but I'm not doing the floor to the floor because that's the piece de resistance. I'm gonna wash down and tape off the whole floor and then do a nice cut around the floor. Okay, laugh with me here. It took me 10 minutes, if that, to paint that whole ceiling with the 18-inch Purdy brush with that. That is amazing. Where have you been my whole life? Here I go with the Purdy system. I tried one of them little edger thingies. Wasn't cutting the mustard. Don't got anything taped off right here. Got my 501 tool with a wet rag. Got a Purdy brush here. Okay, I was trying not to tape. It just is crispier to me. I couldn't get that line, so it was crispier to me if I tape. See the difference? It's down there. Bam, bam, bam. Just so crispier to me, so I'm taping right now. Okay, if you're wondering why it takes me so long to trim the wall, because this is my version of trimming the wall. I always do 2 coats of everything, so I only did half the tape right there. I'm gonna do 2 quick coats and then pull it down, because if you let it dry up there, it's gonna peel the paint off also. Normally I paint the inside corner with the paintbrush and then with the roller to get myself to the centerpiece. With this Purdy little roller, you're able to do the whole thing with a roller to get your whole trim line with the roller. You don't need a brush at all. Okay, we're all trimmed out now. All trimmed out now. I couldn't cut it. It just wasn't as crisp to me as a nice piece of tape. So I know I'm gonna probably get a little spots on the baseboard. I just did enough of the baseboard that I don't really gotta redo the whole baseboard. Going back to an 18-inch roller, I'm gonna roll the whole thing out now. I'm telling you, this thing is heavy when it's loaded with paint. Thought I was going to be done today. I need 1 more gallon of paint. You see how it's not level? It's still drying, granted, but where the compound was, it absorbing more of the paint, and some of the orange is still coming through. So technically, if I would have sealed it, that's another different kind of paint. This was sealer. This is paint and primer. But there was 2 gallons. I should have got 2.5 gallons, 3 gallons. So I need 1 more. I'm gonna finish up with whatever I got in these gallons today. Then that's it for the kids today. Day 4 of my Princess's Disneyland. in the books. I'm almost done. Excuse me. I need a little bit more paint. I ran out. I stretched it 2 full gallons. I stretched it over there. And then I gotta tape the bottom and then finish painting that and finish painting that right there. I got all new outlets, so all the new outlets are gonna be new. Drastic change, right? Just a little bit of paint. It should have been just a little bit of paint, but since we had the house lifted, there were just so much beyond cracks and all this plaster. And look at that plaster repair. There's a shine on the wall right there. That's why it's not a bad part of plaster, it's just a shine. That's satin pink. One more day. The bottom, tape, paint, the outlets, the light switch, the new covers, the new blinds, and then I'm gonna roll this wall and that wall again. I'm gonna get a half gallon of paint and roll that wall and that wall. And it is done. One more day. Take a whole day to get everything back in here, but I'm exhausted. I really am. Day 5, and it's gonna be done today. We gotta get the outlets and outlet covers changed. I'm gonna tape off the trim, switch the light sockets, and then we're gonna do the curtains and the radiator. So that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna start wiping down everything to tape off over here. The floor is gonna be taped off because I don't want to put anything on the floor. Okay, so 2 times around the racetrack now. Now, if you remember, it took me so long to trim the top part of this rail because I did 3/4 of this already. So really, this is going to be the second coat, halfway from the bottom plus the bottom trim. It's already taped all the way around. And when I took time trimming everything, that's when I spent the time trimming the top part of that. So now all I got to do is the bottom part. A lot faster than before. 2 things around the racetrack right here. My honey's doing really good on that radiator right there. And yeah, here we go. Day 5, and I am done. It's just 2 hours of cleanup that I'm gonna have to do to get everything cleaned up. Because if you are doing plaster walls, if you are doing drywall, you will have dust all over the place. Oh. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Now those plaster walls, you'll see in the thing, they were tore up from the floor up. Everything is ceiling painted, trimmed ultra white. The floor is actually going to be rejuvenated. And this is a 1910 Chicago bungalow. The plaster walls were gone. They were shot. And I saved all the plaster walls. Took me 5 days and a butt ton of sanding. So you yourself can do it. They say, well, why don't you just drywall? This thing is smooth as drywall, smoother than drywall. And if you follow the stages that I just did, you too can do it by yourself. And if you think knocking all this plaster out is gonna be easy, it is not. I knocked plaster out and drywall before, and it is a nightmare. Probably triple the work of just repairing your plaster walls. All right, talk to you later. I'm gonna clean up and show you the finished thing. Bye.